Seminole flow massive with an army of your mercy. Peace. Peace. Happy original holidays to all my people. Because you know that October, November, and December, these new months, they start the celebrations for the indigenous peoples around the world. The various harvest celebrations where we commemorate the Great Spirit. We commemorate our ancestors who came before us. And who are the reason we live. We commemorate the Mother Earth, our beautiful planet, Mother Earth, who our indigenous brothers, the Lakota, call Makai. We honor our family, the people, the family, the people. We honor our extended family, aka friends. And these October, November, and December marks the beginning of the harvest celebrations. It's not a mystery why we have Halloween, then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, you know, back to back in this country. When we know that this country was first populated by the indigenous peoples, the original peoples. And some of these peoples look like me. And some of these people look like our Mexican brothers and sisters. And some of these people look like our Asian brothers and sisters. Because there was a mixture of different phenotypes of indigenous peoples. But see, indigenous peoples, we don't care about your race. We want to know where's your land, who are your people? Who are your people? I'm about to perform something for y'all. I'm trying to let it build. So I'm celebrating the Great Spirit, and I'm thankful for the Great Spirit, and I'm commemorating the Great Spirit that is the greatest of greatness of all things, the Most High. I'm commemorating my ancestors who came before me, those who no longer on the planet, but my blood flows through, their blood flows through my veins. Their blood flows through my veins. And we're commemorating this beautiful planet. We're thankful for this earth, this Mother Earth that gives us life. We're thankful, and we're commemorating our family, whether we are in good standing with them or not. Don't matter. And the extended fam. This for y'all. Black Indians, get out! That big Pow Shadowz, man. Let's get it on. Yo, where my Indians at? Let's get it on. Yo, where my Indians at? Check. I'm deadly, so all y'all deceivers just be ready. I'll roll you up like a heavy. I'm in a Chevy. I'm freaking many styles. I'm in the shadows like freaking Benny Pow. Some different aspects of my mental. Listen, Jews, the Gentiles confuse me with the flowers. I'm the king of my block, and it ain't gonna stop it. And I'm that like some yellow cake. Now don't drop that, son. I'm a weapon, a master sense, stripping the grass from stems, getting the masses spent. Triangle on my heart like Tony Stark. I'm tall, no Napoleon syndrome like Bonaparte. I go from mound to mound, searching for miles and miles. My name is Pow Shadowz, not Pow Shadowz. But I'm tall and I'm ballin', it's sorta life like sports. It's sorta like a team epic. I make sure that I'm not gon' foul out. I dream like King, what they gon' take Pow out? A long time ago, I settled in the southeast. They took my land and burned my home. You know about me? I'm a descendant of the Moors, even better than before. This is like a ceremony. Get the corn, homie. I'll be that Washitaw, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee Creek, Muskegon on the beat now. Seminole flow massive with an army of your Massey. Holla, Black Indians, get at me. Black people descend from mound builders. The mound builders are the ancient aboriginals, the oldest people on earth, the empress who gave birth to humanity first. Now understand me in a verse. America was first called Washitaw. Empire Washitaw, they dug the moon, y'all. The mound builders built mounds under the moons, y'all. Ancient ceremonial grounds and sacred tombs, y'all. They shouldn't be excavated or removed, dog. The bones in these mounds are black, I prove it to y'all. The oldest people on earth, we be the Washitaw. Choctaw Creek, Seminar, Chickasaw. From the southeast, Lewis and Clark, they wrote about me. Look that shit up, that's if you doubt me. The expedition that was led by Ben Yard, they encountered the so-called Indians and their skin was dark. We had the civilization set up all over the nation, all up and down the Mississippi to the Appalachian. We had the barter and trading, we had the arts and opinions, we had the music before they started the invasion. Waves of European countries, they invaded us. Spain, France, and of course England was last that raided us. The settlers burnt our homes and started slaving us, mixing us in with the Africans and parading us on auction block. Washitaws next to Mandinkas. In the west they murdered all the Incas and Aztecs, but that's west. In the southeast the mounds are blessed, and in the Midwest too. Bless you, and I'm from Tennessee, related to Cherokee, related to Choctaw under Washitaw. Louisiana is the ancient headquarters. The Black Moors helped the French establish French in New Orleans. Check the history of the dolphin. Best believe I don't be just talking. I be at Washitaw, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee Creek, Muskegee on the beat now. Seminole flow massive with an army of Yamasee. Holla black Indians, get at me. I be at Washitaw, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee Creek, Muskegee on the beat now. Seminole flow massive with an army of Yamasee. Holla black Indians, get at me. Yo, this is dedicated to Her Imperial Highness Empress Verdiacy Tiari Washitaw Turner Ghost in El Bay. Peace, Bob. Peace, Pop. Any questions? Salute. General Pow Shadowz. You can find that song on iTunes, CD Baby, YouTube, SoundCloud. You can Google it. Pow Shadowz. Washitaw Flow. WASHITAW. Washitaw. Do you know that the majority of the peoples in this country that you call African Americans actually have ethnic origins in places other than just Africa? Do you not know that the people in this country that you call African Americans are not all from Africa? Do you know that they had already migrated to this territory long before slavery? Long before even the white man ever ventured out of Europe? So you call these people African Americans, but they're not all African Americans. Many of us are Native Americans, what you call Native Americans, descendants thereof. And you wonder why the indigenous people, or the so-called African people in this country, and the so-called African American people in this country, that's who I'm speaking about, the so-called African American people in this country cannot go beyond their great-great-great-grandmother. Ask the average African American, so-called African American in this country, who his great-great-great-grandmother or great-great-great-grandfather is. They don't know. Because this history was systematically destroyed during the process of chattel slavery, where they systematically broke up the family, the so-called black family, and separated us and made the mothers move yonder and the fathers move down there and the children stay here. This is what happened. Okay? And since we don't know who our great-great-great-grandmothers and great-great-great-grandfathers, ask the average so-called black person in this country who their great-great-great-grandmother is, please. And then ask them who their great-great-great-great-grandmother and grandfather is. And then ask the average person of European descent, so-called white, who their great-great-great-great-grandfather is and where their people come from. And watch the difference of answer that you get. So you should not be surprised when I tell you that we're not all from Africa, just Africa. Many of us are descendant of Native Americans because how would you know? You don't know where we came from because our history was eliminated, and the only proof and evidence that we have, documents were destroyed, as Empress Verdiasi pointed out, and the only proof and evidence we go by is the oral tradition, because the indigenous people build on an oral tradition, pass down oral tradition. I trust my grandmother. My grandmother don't lie to me. My grandmother never lied to me, and my great-grandmother never lied to me. They kept it 150. Oral tradition. And my great-grandmother told me about her grandmother who was tied to a tree. She was a very light-skinned woman. I come from, my family were sharecroppers. But you don't know what we were before that. My great-great-great-grandmother was tied to a tree and beaten. She was a light-skinned, pretty lady, from what I understand. Very beautiful woman. Yeah. Who was her mother? I'll never know. I got to do some serious research. And I've been doing it. Trust. My grandmother gave me some documents. Before she passed me, she rested in paradise. I hope y'all enjoyed the song, man. I just wanted to give y'all some understanding that this time of year is a year where we traditionally celebrated a harvest festival and had harvest festivals. This is what Maulana Karenga was trying to do with Kwanzaa. If you research Kwanzaa, you know that he was trying to reinstitutionalize the harvest festival celebrated around the world by the indigenous peoples, which is why you have the feast. But it's not just Kwanzaa, it's many harvest celebrations from October to December that are celebrated by the indigenous people around the world, to commemorate and to give thanks and to also atone. It's a good time to atone with people. Day of Atonement. That's what I'm thinking about right about now, this time of year. General Pow Shadowz, General Pow Shadowz. Anoli meaning to tell. It's a Shata or a Choctaw name, means to tell. To tell what? You know what I tell. I just told you. Peace and love.